Hello, everybody. I'm Pastor Steve, and we're coming back to talk about Job and his three friends and see how they're working with him. If you've been enduring this with me for the last several weeks, you will know that Job, Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar have been beating Job up verbally. And, as I study and I think and I read, I listen to people speak in the Bible, and it says we are in a spiritual warfare. We are not to be, how does it say? Let me just relate to you a bit. I read an article the other day, and it says when someone is rude and nasty to you and ugly and so forth, it's not them. It is powers beyond that have invaded them and have made them just uncomfortable, miserable people. Now, I go into that little dissertation simply because I believe these three friends of Job's is being used by the enemy. And because as we're sitting here, this isn't the way people would treat friends. Let me just kind of back up a bit. And Job has just listened to Eliphaz speak to him. And Job is saying, I'm innocent. I didn't do it. He says, as for all you, come back with a better argument. He says, you guys haven't got anything to say to me. Come back with something more important to say. He says, my days are over. My hopes have disappeared. My heart's desires are broken. These men say the night is day and they claim that the darkness is light. He says, this is just awful and you're not making any sense. No, my hope will go down with me to the grave, he says, and we will rest together in the dust. Job is having a very difficult time. And not only is it as he lost his family, he lost his wealth, he's lost everything. It seems like he's lost his friends. His friends have been taken over by the evil forces that are the powers that be, the powers behind the darkness that invades the lives of people who are bothering us. And it happens to you and I. And these are lessons that we need to learn as we go about our day. Like I said, I read this article and I thought, wow, how true is that? When someone drives me off the road, I'm not to yell at them and honk my horn and get all upset. Why? Why? Because it's powers that be. They can't help themselves. They have evil behind them, and it's the world. It's all about me. And I'm not going to be kind. I'm not going to be generous. I'm not going to let you in. I am not. I don't care about you. It's all about me. And this is the way it's beginning to sound with Job's friends. And that's how come I came to this conclusion. Now, let me say that none of the so-called powers that be that know all about this, that write stories about Job, say this kind of stuff. But I'm putting things that come together on me, and I believe the Holy Spirit works just that way. So we're going to start in chapter 18, and this is Bildad's response to Job. And Bildad says, now listen, this is a friend, and it seems very unusual to me. How long before you stop talking? Speak sense if you want us to answer. Do you think we're all stupid? Surely the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. He's saying, and there he's talking about Job again. Surely the light of the wicked will be snuffed out. He says the terrors surround the wicked and troubles them with every step. Disease eats their skin. Now, hey, come on. Is he talking about Job? All kinds of problems will probably be snuffed out. You're certainly a bad man. And this is what happens to people who are wicked and evil. And Job's just enduring this. And he says, and how does disease eats their skin? As we spoke about earlier, Job was scraping off sores with shards of a pot so he could try to stay clean and try to get this stuff off of him. But his friends are telling him, the disease eats your skin. He says, they will say, this was the home of the wicked person, the place of the one who rejected God. So he's going on and say, Job, you deserve every bit of this. You probably aren't getting it as bad as you should. And this is what happens to wicked people. Just live up to it. That's just your problem. You did it. Face the consequences. Now, Job is going to respond to this. And this is, it says, Job, how long will you torture me? Remember, I'm saying these men are now tools of the evil one, of Satan. How long will you torture me? How long will you try to crush me with your words? You have already insulted me 10 times. You should be ashamed of yourself for treating me so badly. Even if I have sinned, that is my concern, not yours. It's between me and God, not you. But it is God who has wronged me, Job says. And Job just believes that. He believes God wronged him. Of course, we've read 1 and 2, chapters 1 and 2. We know what's going on behind the scenes. But Job doesn't understand yet. He hasn't been filled in. He says, but it's God who has wronged me, capturing me with his net. I cry out, help, but no one answers. God has blocked my way so I cannot move. He has plunged me into the path of darkness. He has demolished me on every side, and I am finished. Job is going into I am finished. I've just had it. Life is miserable. I have nothing to live for. He's going to go on to say, my friends have turned against me. My family is gone. My close friends have forgotten me. My servants and maids consider me a stranger. When I call my servant, he doesn't even come. I have to plead with him. My breath is repulsive to my wife. I am rejected by my own family. Even young children despise me. When I stand to speak, they turn their backs on me. My close friends detest me. My close friends detest me. I wonder if he's speaking about his present company. I have been reduced to skin and bones, and I have escaped death by the skin of my teeth. Now, there's a saying I've always wondered where it came from, and it came from the Bible. I just got by the skin of my teeth. My dad used to say that to me, and I really never understood it because my teeth didn't have any skin. So that means you just barely got by the skin of your teeth. Have mercy on me, my friends. Have mercy. For the hand of God has struck me. Must you also persecute me like God does? Haven't you chewed me up enough? So Job is really feeling beat up. And this is nothing new. We've been repeating this for the last several weeks. I'm beat up. Life's worthless. I don't have any reason to live. I wish I could just die. Life is just not worth living. Everything's lost. Life is miserable. That's Job saying. And his friends aren't saying, oh, come on, Job, it's okay. He says, you deserve what you got, Job. Get over it. Now, I want to read this in verse 25 of chapter 19, and it sounds like it could be a sermon that we'd hear in today's church, and I like it a lot. It says, but as for me, I know that my Redeemer lives, and he will stand upon the earth at last, and after my body has decayed, yet in my body, I will see God. I will see him for myself. Yes, my Redeemer lives. We've said that over and over. There's a song like, my Redeemer lives. My Redeemer lives. And Job is saying that. And the interesting thing about this, as down as Job is, as rejected as he feels, as bad as everything seems to be going, Job has not cursed God. He has maintained his faith that I love the Lord, even though he's doing this to me. I don't know what, but I know that my Redeemer lives, and I will see him after my skin rots. And I'm going to stand up, and we're going to see each other. I am overwhelmed at this thought. Job has a spark of hope and glory. Can I just get a little bit off? I was listening to someone talk the other day, and they were talking about rats. And they named the type of rat, and I don't know what the type of, but it's not important. They put the rats in the water, and the rats swim around in a tub they couldn't get out. And after about 2 hours of swimming around in a tub, this is a little crude, the rats died. Oh my. So they kept doing it some more, and this was an experiment, I guess, and they found rats were swimming around, and just before they were ready to die, they lifted them up out of the water, dried them off, put them in their cage, fed them, and let them go. just let them go on and live their life. But after a week or so later, they put them in the same tub. They let them swim around. And as in the past, the rats gave up and died in about 2 hours. But these rats who had been rescued had hope. They had hope. And they lived, get this now, this is 2 days, not 2 hours, but 2 days, swimming around in that with hope that a Redeemer would come and pull them out of the water and save them. And they lasted 2 days before they drowned. I go into that little sidetracked rabbit hole because hope is what we have. Hope is what we want. And we understand hope. Job is sharing hope with, I hope that my Lord is going to take care of me because I know my Redeemer lives. He has hope. And I relate that story to you simply because hope is important in our lives. We hope. We have faith and we hope for the best. So, thank you for enduring that. Now, so he's going on, he says, how dare you go on and persecuting me, saying it's my own fault? You should fear punishment yourselves, for your attitude deserves punishment. Job is getting a little fed up with his friends. You deserve punishment. Your attitude is awful, and I think you are going to pay for this. Trust me. So, now Zophar is going to speak, and we're going to get into this just briefly. Zophar is the third of the speakers. We've had last one was Biladad. Job spoke. Now it's Zophar. Zophar the Naamanite. I'm going to call him. That's probably not pronounced right, but it's okay. He says, I must reply because I'm greatly disturbed. I've had to endure your insults. Now my spirit prompts me to reply. You've been insulting me, Job, and I'm going to reply. And listen, you got to listen to me. Don't you realize that from the beginning of time, since people were first placed on this earth, triumph of the wicked has been short-lived. He says the wicked never survived. They've been short-lived. And the joy of the godless has only been temporary, though the pride of the godless reaches to the heavens. Think of this now. He's saying, you prideful human being, you're just getting what you deserve. The wicked never survive, yet your head is up in the clouds because you have so much pride. Yet they will vanish forever, thrown away like their own dung. They'll vanish, they'll be flushed down the toilet, he's saying. They will vanish like the vision in the night. They enjoy the sweet taste of wickedness. They say they love being bad. They love the fruits of their labors or their thieving, their whatever it is that takes them. Says, but they're not going to live. He says they will vomit the wealth they have swallowed. Their wealth will bring them no joy, and for they oppressed the poor, and they left them destitute. So he's saying, Job, you're getting what you deserved. Obviously, you were rich. And saying, we're not around you. We've been gone out where other parts of the country. We don't know how you really live. But obviously, you've done something drastically wrong, and God is punishing you. And let me tell you, you're not going to enjoy it. It's going to be short-lived. And it says, the greedy are never satisfied. Therefore, their prosperity will not endure. It's not going to last forever, Job, and you're finding out. Your prosperity has ended, and you are going down the tubes, so to speak. In the midst of plenty, they will run into trouble and be overcome by misery. And the terrors of death will be upon them. A flood will sweep away their house. God's anger will descend upon them in torrents. This is the reward that God gives the wicked. It is the inheritance decreed by God. So Zophar is telling Job, you deserve it. There's nothing you can do about it. You haven't got it as bad as you should have. And you need to just confess. You need to understand that if you would confess, and we're going to get into that, you will find a better life. You will have that hope, which is a true statement. We just talked about it. But again, Job is professing his innocence. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. He's being wrongfully accused, and he says, I didn't do it. But he has hope that life is going to turn for him. And he believes if not now, he might end up in the grave. He will come face to face with God. He'll see him, and he'll be cleared of these wrongdoings. So stay tuned. We're going to come back and find out what happens to Job and his three friends, because next week we're going to start the seventh speech from Zophar. He's going to reply to Job's answers, I think. So thank you very much. God bless you, and we love you. Bye now.